Too many times do I see ourselves separating our current lives and our dream life. And I think this is where we actually lose track and lose sight of what we truly should be doing. And it separates us so much that we actually truly never live our dream life because of this. And it's where we put into our head that we will always be far away from reaching our destination. We'll always be far away from having the life that we want, from actually living the way we've dreamed of since we were a little kid. Whatever you have in your mind right now as your goals and your dreams, you might also have this separation thinking that you also can't have it because you're putting it away, you're pushing it out. You're saying to yourself that you can't have it yet. You're saying to yourself that you aren't capable of actually living that life. And I think that alone separates our actions away from what we're actually working towards, because we think that the dream life is at an end when the dream life is actually within the journey. And I know it's very cliche to say it's always about the journey versus the destination, but I think this is a very unique way where you can actually think about this and change your whole mindset and mentality of why you shouldn't just focus on the destination of being somewhere you work towards and get to, but instead the dream life can be today, and your one decision, and probably hopefully before the end of this video you already figured out that you are living that dream life. Because we have these goals and we set them as targets, which is good. You should always have a goal and a target that you should work towards. But you have to understand that goal and target takes the work of today. And once you achieve that goal and target, you're probably going to raise that bar. You're going to switch it up, because as humans, I truly believe, I don't know of anybody that just doesn't have any goals and targets that keeps them going, right? Because if you're not working towards something, you're truly just sitting there dying. And it doesn't have to be always in the same category, right? It can be as simple as even just within your health, within your finances, within, your family, within your relationships, whatever it is, there's always something you're working towards. And it doesn't have to be this big glamorous thing. When we actually consider ourselves working in the journey as the dream, we now open up the possibility that we are already in it, that we are living our dream life. That even though we might not have the shiny objects of, I guess the award, we don't have the trophy, we don't have the saying, I did it, I accomplished this. But things take time, things take work. And the dream should always be the work you are doing, because that's what you actually want to do, because that's what you're wanting to work towards. Like the dream is the work. You want to work because it's fun to you, because it's actually building you. Like, why do you want the trophy? Why do you want the award? The award only resembles the whole journey that got you there. It only says you did all this work. You lived that dream. You made it happen. And what it also does is when we decide that we are living in the dream, we are working the dream, it doesn't keep that separation as far out. Instead of us saying we're always behind ourselves, we're always 10 years out from living our dream, we're always never at the finish line. It also might even be pushing away your own success, because you think you have all these excuses, you have all these thoughts that go through your mind that says, well, I'm not going to get there yet, or I can wait because I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to accomplish this. I'm just not enough yet. I have to work on something that's actually not my dream because I don't think I'm ready yet. You become, filled with just, honestly, it's just misery, because you're not actually in the in the work that is your dream. And if you're not doing your dream work, you're never going to create your dream. And when you have that target, and it's also a thing of happiness that I think I can really bring this into as well, because some people set the target of saying they just want to be happy. But by putting that happiness as a target and not in a place of being as you are today, you are telling yourself that you are not happy and that you have to work towards happiness, that you have to do everything else before you can be happy. So in reality, you're really pushing away happiness. You're pushing away that dream because you're telling yourself you have to accomplish everything else before then you can feel good about yourself. But let me tell you something that you will probably come to eventually. And I won't waste any of your time because this will actually save years of your life. You can be happy now. You don't need to accomplish everything to be happy. Happiness should never be a goal. Happiness should never be the target. Because if it's a target, I honestly think you will never hit it. Because you'll have to have all these reasons of why you can't have that dream, why you can't hit that target, why you can't be happy. And if you've been in this self-development space, you might have even heard from other people's speeches that you're one decision away. You're closer to your goals than you think. It's not that hard. It's not that far out. And this is where it's true. Because honestly, if you just set the target of your certain goals that you wanted to accomplish, and then you started working on them every single day consistently. You just kept going without, whether you felt like crap, whether you had other distractions in your life, you were able to redirect the focus and keep on pushing forward. You still were able to do the work, which was the dream. Because by the end of the year, when you hit those targets, you're going to just raise the bar and you're going to go back doing the work. And living through that journey of the ups and downs is what we should focus on as the goal. And I'm not saying strip away, all of the, your SMART goals, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't have targets. But I'm also saying that if you had, let's just do an easy monetary goal. If you had a target of making $1 million a year and you're not currently making $1 million a year, you have to do the activities that make you $1 million a year. So your goal is every day doing the activity. You can't wake up every day and be like, okay, I'm going to make $1 million a year. Okay, I'm going to make $1 million a year. It's about the action you put towards it. So it's reframing what actions you do and what really builds your goals. And it's not just by setting the goal. Anybody can set a target. Anybody can set the goal. But you actually have to do it. And that is where you honestly can actually create your goal come to life, right? Like by the end of the year, you can make it come to life by making sure there's no other possibility you don't make it, because every day you're living within that goal. You're actually putting forth the actions that creates that journey, right? If I set a destination when I'm driving, I set a destination on my GPS, and I'm just always telling myself, well, I gotta go there. Well, I gotta make it there sometime. Well, you're not gonna just make it there by saying it. You're not gonna just do it by setting the waypoint. You actually, you gotta make the first steps of like, okay, I gotta grab my keys. I gotta get out the door. I gotta get in my vehicle. I gotta turn the key. I gotta start the car. I gotta put it in reverse or drive, and then I just gotta keep going. Right? You gotta make it of a goal to just get in the driver's seat and drive. And that journey along the way is really the dream. Because once you get there, then you made it. Then what? Then you create another journey to get somewhere else. Whether it's even going back to where you came from, or you go to a different spot, within that destination. What areas are you exploring? If I drive into New York City, I might not even have a plan for when I get to New York City, what I'm going to do. I just set the waypoint and I go. And then I enjoy the journey to New York City. Then once I get to New York City, I set a new target. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm going to go to this place. Then you enjoy that journey getting to that place. Then you enjoy the journey of eating. And then you realize you are living that dream because your actions are creating the dream. Your actions are the dream. You're not that far away from it. And things just take time, right? I can't be in New York in the snap of my fingers. I don't have that superpower, right? But me driving to New York, because I said I wanted to go there, that is me living the dream. Because it just has to take time. I'm doing the action that's creating the dream. The dream just takes its normal amount of time. If I'm driving there, let's just say I'm 3 hours away. There's going to be some hurdles. Maybe there's extra traffic. Maybe there's a road closure. Maybe there's a big accident up ahead. You stopped. There's always things that might jump in the way of where you're going, the destination, but you're still able to push through and figure out, a different route. You're able to just wait it out and, be patient. Some problems, you just got to be patient. All of it still takes an amount of time and an amount of work, amount of effort, amount of resources. And as long as you're putting up those resources, you are living that dream. And we don't have to think we're far away from it anymore. We don't have to separate ourselves from the dream. It's like when people ask you, what your dream is. It's like, well, my dream is actually I'm doing what I'm right now. This is my dream. I'm living the dream. Because what I'm doing right now in the living moment, in the actions I do, will create what I want. So that's the dream. Every problem, every challenge I come across, every hurdle, everything that's thrown at me, that's the dream I'm living. Not the destination of it, even though that's a target I want to hit. This is the living moment of what I'm in is actually everything I've dreamed of and more. So it brings that dream even so much more closer to you. And it also puts you in the mentality and the mindset. If you really wanted a big mindset shift and to reframe how you saw things and maybe, boost your own self-respect and self-awareness of where you're going, and you want to feel more positive about yourself, just understand that you don't have to reach the target to then feel good for yourself that you're in the dream. You don't have to reach the target to then feel like you are living that dream. That's just like, I think I came up with this within the last week just from, the last video, if you guys saw that. It's just very important to understand that it's a very cliche saying of, just that the journey is everything. But not many times you really break it down for yourself of what that actually means. And it's very hard to overlook it and be like, yeah, I get it, just the journey, But, you probably in the back of your mind, you're like, well, I'm just not there yet though. But you are. You're there. It just takes time. You're at the dream. Just keep doing it every day. And then you'll hit that target. And then you'll have a different target. And then every day you'll be living that dream. And even though it might not look like, if you look at yourself externally, you don't have the externals of it, but you're putting in the work of it. Maybe internally you're working on it. You just don't have anything to show for it yet, which is okay. You don't need anything to show for you living your own dream. Who are you showing it to? Why do you need anything to show for it? If you know yourself, you're working the dream and you're living your own dream. You don't need to show everybody else. If you're hitting the targets, if you're working towards hitting the targets, I think it's also a self-confidence booster, because when anybody asks like, "Oh, what'd you accomplish?" or "What do you want to do?" It's like I'm accomplishing everything I need to do. Because today I hit these targets, which allow me at the end of the year to get where I need to be or get where I want to be. So if I broke it down very like day by day, hour by hour, yeah, or week by week. I mean, I think tracking across the day and the week is a little bit easier for ourselves to comprehend, because sometimes things just get in the way, like those blockages, the road closures, the car, the accident up ahead blocking the whole road. Those things come up. But if we expanded ourselves over like the week, the month, or the entire journey of the trip, it's like, okay, well, we just had to work throughout those challenges, and then we still made it there. I was still working towards it. There was just things that got into my way, which took more time to figure out the problem of, more than what I expected. But then those things just still took an allotted amount of time, which becomes the work, which becomes the hard stuff, which becomes the hills that we climb that actually help us get through. And then we understand that that was the fun in it. That was what we wanted. We didn't want just the destination. You gotta want the journey. You gotta want what you're doing today. And it makes you better at it too. It probably will make you feel more fulfilled and more at peace with understanding you got it. Like, take a relief of yourself. Like, you're doing it. Feel confident about yourself, because you're doing it right now. Close up that gap. It's right there. You're much closer than you think. And I know everything seems a lot of cliche in this world, so I try to put a little bit of spin on things and look a little bit deeper of understanding that even myself and others, you probably hear those words and hear those sayings, and you probably have all these spin-offs of like, why is it a little bit different? Like, you get frustrated too. You might get a little frustrated, like, well, I know it's the journey. No crap. Everybody knows that, right? That's what everybody says. But then you actually have to live by it. It's not just about having the sayings and hearing the sayings. You just got to live by it. Thank you, guys. Again, Isaac Maring here. I own and run a lawn maintenance company currently, and I just love sharing business and thoughts and really self-development for you to just keep growing yourself, because you don't grow your business without growing yourself first. And you can't really be a good leader if you don't build yourself first. So hopefully I can help expand my thoughts over to you guys, and it helps you in your day-to-day lives and getting you to where you need to go and living where you need to live. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Just give me a like, or any comments, any questions you have, drop them down.